Today, Justice Taiwo. It is part of their revenue shares from crude oil sales. Akwa Ibom is to get just over 2 billion. Someone has asked me a question. Enoh, will that money be paid? Let's wait and see.
This is the Morning Crossfire on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good morning. My name is Enoh Enigma, and this is where we have the region's biggest conversation. So over the weekend, the federal government made it known that they have agreed to use dialogue. The president, Muhammadu Buhari, has agreed to use dialogue to address the security situations in the southeast. Who spoke? Minister of Labor and Employment, Chris Ngige, after he met with the president alongside the Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari. Listen to him.
We have to talk, we have to discuss. Part of the discussion starts also tomorrow. The Minister of Defense and Minister of Interior and the service chiefs were in Enugu last Saturday, and we are going to do follow-up meetings on that. We briefed him, and we have stated that dialogue is where to go in all this.
All right, so people have been saying, well, they want to talk. They need to have, some conversations. But the presidency or the federal government was using force. Now they have said we want to talk. But on the other hand, we had the members of the Southeast Governors Forum saying that they are not part of, the agitations and, the call for secession by certain groups in the region. After a meeting on Saturday in Enugu, the governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, who is also chairman of the forum, spoke.
The impression that Southeast leaders are silent over agitation for secession is not correct. Southeast governors, Ohaneze president and her leadership, National Assembly members from Southeast, notable leaders from Southeast, had come out publicly many times in the past to speak against such agitations. In order not to mismanage the unfortunate situation, Southeast leaders have set up a committee to engage such youths to stop and allow the elders of Southeast to address their fears.
All right, so they're saying we will engage also at that level. Let's hear him again.
We, the Igbos, do reaffirm our commitment to one united Nigeria under a platform of justice, equality of rights, fairness, love, and respect for one another. We have noted threats by some groups in some other regions against our people of Southeast, while we firmly promise to protect everyone either from living in our places. We plead with the leaders of other regions to please note the threats to our people and to please address the threats to our people and to protect them.
All right, Dave Umahi there. When I heard that news on Sunday into Monday morning, I just started to think, are we going to have that committee sit with the agitators? Are the agitators going to be willing to come to the table to have that conversation? Those are my thoughts. And just yesterday, IPOB has said that the Southeast governors cannot decide for Ndigbo on their agitation, the Biafra agitation. In a statement, they said they're not surprised that the governors will disown and condemn IPOB and the Eastern Security Network after they have been prescribed. Says there are a handful of traitors masquerading as the Igbo political elite. They should wake up to the realities that they've since lost the confidence of the people. Let's stop there. We'll talk about that this morning. This is their response to the federal government saying we want to dialogue. So we will be having Achike Chude join us on the phone. He is a public affairs analyst, and we'll talk. Good morning, Achike. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Anna. It's a pleasure.
So when you heard that the federal government had come around finally to say, let's have a conversation, let's dialogue, did you think that they were going to be welcomed with open arms by the agitators from the Southeast?
No, I didn't think so, because the agitation or the reasons for the agitation is much more deeper, it's much more fundamental. The agitation is not just an agitation by the Southeast alone. It's also similar kinds of agitation that you are hearing from other parts of the country. And we all know that the precursor of these agitations have been, the injustice that we have had in the land and the country. And so it's not just, a Southeast thing. Of course, we know that the direction of the agitation is, or the agitators, especially the IPOB agitators, is completely different at variance with what some leaders of thought in the Southeast, for instance, have been saying. At no time has Ohaneze, even under the new leadership of Ohaneze or the previous leaderships of Ohaneze, especially notably the leadership of John Nyanwodo, at no time have they ever said that they were interested in the secession or the separation of the Southeast from the rest of the country. But they have also said that they cannot continue to operate in this country, under the present situation, as a free people, under the present situation in Nigeria, that injustice must be done away with. The nepotism, that we see in this country, the lopsidedness that we see in Nigeria, must be done away with. That is the only basis on which they can continue to function as, proper citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The same thing we see in other parts of the country, the Southwest, for instance, in the Middle Belt, where you also have groups that are agitating for complete separation from the country. They are the leaderships of their cultural organizations. For instance, Pandev, Afenifere and Co. have also taken the position of Ohaneze. They are saying that they are not interested really in secession or separation, but in justice in the country. Okay. So that is the reality, yeah.
But Achike, someone would think that this is a golden opportunity, for them to even be heard in the first place. If the government is saying we want to dialogue, what do you think about that? Shouldn't they just jump at it?
No. You see, it is difficult to believe under the present setup in Nigeria that there is going to be any genuine, long-lasting dialogue. Okay. Don't forget that it is part of the agitation or the consequence of the agitation that has led to the fact that people have been calling for the scrapping of the Nigerian Constitution, and that for the proper constitution of a people. Nigerians from diverse walks of life to sit down on, and then debate the basis of our nationhood, the basis of us coming together as a people. You understand? These things are more fundamental issues. Forget again that the Nigerian Senate has been involved in the process of amending the Nigerian Constitution. But when you listen to the admissions and submissions of so many prominent Nigerians, they are saying that the foundation is irredeemably bad, and that there's no way you can, fashion out a proper constitution that will best guarantee the continuous existence of Nigeria under an atmosphere of justice, peace, and fairness, without scrapping the constitution. So those people who are talking about amending the constitution, there are those who are saying, and they have a lot of sense that it should be completely a brand new constitution to govern the country, because you cannot amend something that is irredeemably bad. So what I'm saying in essence is that there are very fundamental issues. I might disagree with the IPOB position right now in the sense that we have achieved some relative calm in the Southeast, even though the fundamentals have not been resolved. But, nothing stops. First of all, the major issue has been achieved, and that is peace. And that is the fact that all the killings that have been going on, extrajudicial killings by the security forces of innocent young people from the east, from the Southeast, that has stopped. And that the killing of our security personnel also by unknown government has also stopped. So these are good things. So we cannot continue to allow that situation of total carnage and anarchy that has gone on in the Southeast to continue unabatedly. So there's something positive about the temporary truce. Okay. But if you ask me, and if you want to be practical about the real problems of this country, there is no dialogue that the federal government can conduct right now that will resolve the deep fundamental contradictions of the Nigerian state. Right. Because for you to engage in that, to resolve it in the Southeast, you must also resolve it in the Southwest, in the North Central and other parts of the country. Well, because the issues are more than just agitation from the Southeast.
Yeah, but if you look at in terms of intensity, right? It seems that the one from the southeast is more intense because they have a leader, unlike whoever the bandits, whatever it is they call them from the northeast.
No, you see, the reason is that it threatens directly the corporate existence of Nigeria, because the agitators, those who are sticking to arms in the southeast, and especially IPOB, ESN, and so on. The agitators, for instance, are calling for secession from the rest of the country. It's a political statement. So this is not just an agitation for justice.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it has greater weight than whatever else is happening in other parts of the country.
No, it does not. I don't think it has greater weight. If it has greater weight, it is just simply because of the political dimension. It is purely a political issue. They are questioning the existence of the Nigerian state as presently constituted. That's what carries weight. Otherwise, there are children that are in the hands of kidnappers. I was saying it does not carry weight in this country. It's only in a country like Nigeria that 100 children are permanently in the hands of kidnappers. That it appears as if we are all, going about our duties as normal. In any serious country, everything, no stone will be left unturned to ensure the safety of these children. So that itself also carries a lot of weight. But I was saying, it is because this is also fundamental, and that the existence, the corporate existence of the Nigerian state is being questioned by the agitators. That is why it carries a lot of weight. The banditry that is going on in the north, in the country, in this country, the herdsmen attacks, the Boko Haram attack also threatens the corporate existence of this country and carries enough weight. The only reason is, for whatever reason, the federal government has decided to designate what is happening in the southeast as more important to be dealt with.
Okay.
And that has to do perhaps with the manner, with the temperament of the president and the perception of the president about southeast and southeasterners. Otherwise, what has been going on in the north is not something that should not be tolerated under any guise. So we will expect the same kind of annoyance from the president that he has about what is happening in the north, just the same way we have seen that he has been highly annoyed about what is happening in the southeast.
Okay,
but we don't see the same level of anger, the same level of frustration with what is happening in the north, vis-a-vis what is happening in the southeast. And that is the contradiction, because the president should also have the same level of intense frustration and anger about what is happening in the north as just like what is happening, in the southeast. So that's the paradox.
Okay, so
that he doesn't, yes.
So what does IPOB have now that the government has said, come to a table, let's talk, and they're saying our leaders can't represent us? So who would represent them? What card will they play?
The issue, but the issue is that it's not everybody, every Southeastern, every Igbo person that has bought into the separatist ideology of IPOB. I can tell you that, yes, IPOB has a lot of support among the Igbo people. The fact that they tell people to sit at home, they sit at home. And people are saying it is because they feel threatened, that's why they sit at home. No, a lot of people, if we want to be factual, a lot of people believe, Igbo people believe in the separatist move of IPOB because they feel that you cannot get justice in this country. But there are so many other Igbo people too who do not feel, who also believe, know that or believe that there is grave injustice in this country against the Igbo people, most especially, and in general against Nigerians in general. But these people do not think that the solution is separation. And so you see it, for instance, when IPOB tells a lot of people in the southeast to sit at home, they sit at home, to show compliance. But when IPOB tells them do not go and vote in an election for a state, governor, the people defy IPOB and they go out to vote in that election. So that tells you that in a way there is a disconnect, and that IPOB is failing to read the barometer, of the people properly. So the governors, to some extent, can speak in as much as people disagree with them. But the governors, I believe, can still speak on behalf of the people because they were elected by the people. Forget the process of election. Forget the fact that sometimes the political process is also manipulated, and that the polity has been so much inundated with so much money. And that the people are most times bought by money, by the politicians and the rest. But still, the people have accepted the political leadership in the southeast of the governors. So I think from that perspective, IPOB also has to also take cognizance of the fact that not everybody believes that only IPOB can speak for them, Other people, the governors also have some level, and some of the elders in the Southeast, even though people are not impressed by them, people do not believe, a lot of people do not believe that the elites, the political elites, their political elites have actually represented them properly. They see them as a group of very selfish, self-motivated people. You understand?
But Achike,
that is not to say that everybody is ready to throw them under the bus.
So this is where we are. The federal government is saying we want to talk. IPOB is saying Southeast governors and the others, you can't speak for us. You can't speak. You're not qualified to speak for us. So what do they have at this time? If they're saying we're not going to have a conversation and we don't want these Igbo elites, self-appointed Igbo elites and the Southeast governors to speak for us, who would speak for IPOB at this time? Who would have that conversation with the government?
There's a way out.
Tell us.
And they are failing to take that way out. The reality is that, yes, you don't believe in the process, you don't believe in the Constitution and all that, but there's nothing you can do about it for now. You understand? So what one would have expected is for IPOB to be very political. If IPOB knows that it has a lot of support, on ground, and that it is grassroots, which I believe it is, then IPOB should be able to sponsor politicians. I mean, people to run for offices, especially offices of governors in many of the Southeast states. Look, politics is about visibility. Politics is a game of numbers. And right now it would appear that IPOB has serious numbers. So IPOB can get involved in the political process, make it very clear that these are our candidates. And because of the groundswell of support that they have garnered over the years, that should naturally translate into serious electoral victories for themselves. Let them take a few states, let them take over the governorship of a few states in the Southeast, and then begin to do those things that they would have preferred that the federal government would do on behalf of the Southeasterners. Let them build the Southeast and make the Southeast the envy of many other groups in this country. And then people will realize the difference. So at this particular point in time, we cannot engage militarily. First of all, you're not even ready for that to engage the Nigerian state in a military confrontation. The events of the past few weeks have also shown that. But that is not to say that the Nigerian state should bask in the glory of maybe repressing brutally the people, the Southeasterners, the way they have done. Because if they continue and they continue along that line of continuous repression of the people, what they are going to do is that the IPOB people will go back to the drawing table and begin to look for ways to bring in more advanced military weaponry, military-grade weaponry, to be able to call the Nigerian army.
But
at that particular point in time, it will be difficult for them to overwhelm IPOB. So it's about looking at the entirety, the total picture, and looking for ways to resolve what is going on amicably. But like I said, the resolution of the country's crisis needs a much deeper approach rather than
engagement,
government.
rather than dialogue.
To do is just very superficial.
Well, God's Power Igwe says the problem of our brethren from IPOB stock is their inability to listen to every wise counsel, not even from leaders of thought. Imagine IPOB.
I agree.
Imagine IPOB being
There's very large extent, because what they would have done, and you see, and sometimes, when you think you know too much, look. Nelson Mandela once said that no leader is above the people that he represents, and no is above the organization that he represents, and no organization is above the hopes and aspirations of the people that they represent. If you say you represent the people, you cannot put yourself above the people. Yes, we know that the elites have been a disappointment for a very long time. We would have expected much better from them. But there are some of them that are also committed Southeasterners, Igbo people, who have a different view of what is going on in the country, who have a different understanding, who says that it is only your own rule that must apply. It is only your own vision that people must imbibe, and anybody who does not imbibe it cannot be a true Igbo person. So these are some of the issues. Yes, we have always maintained, and most other people who are not even Southeasterners have always maintained that what Nnamdi Kanu says, a lot of the things he says are true. You might not like the way and manner and the style and the rhetoric that he uses in conveying the truth of the messages that he's passing. You might not like his book stance, his manner, and the abuses, which are not totally uncalled for and are not necessary. But we all agree that there are certain fundamentals that he has talked about that you have no choice if you're really interested in this country, but to agree with him. You understand? But it is the strategy and the approach and the tactics that have been very, very different. And part of his failing is the inability to also listen to some other people too. Especially when John Naya Nwodo was there, for instance, former Ohaneze President General. There was nothing in Nnamdi Kanu said that he did not say. Everything in Nnamdi Kanu was articulating, he was articulating. But the only difference was that, because, I mean, there are fundamental truths that a lot of other people in Nigeria also agree with. But the only you stop short of calling for separation or secession. He was asking for justice.
All right.
He was asking for fairness.
All right.
So these are the things, I mean, go on.
All right. Achike, we need to take a break right now, and then we'll continue afterwards.
All right.
So justice is, I mean, that's where all this starts from, the call for justice. But this is where we are now, after many months and years of, the agitations, and the last few months taking a new turn. The federal government is saying we want to dialogue. Unexpected. I mean, there are people that would bet their lives to say President Buhari would never come to that table or come to that point. But we're here now, and they're supposed to start, the conversations with different groups and the agitators this week. But IPOB is saying, no, Southeast governors, elites, you cannot speak for us. So this is where we are. Should IPOB come to the table? Should they have that dialogue with the federal government? That is our talking point right after the commercial. We are Nigerian football hackers, and this is where we have the region's biggest conversation. My name is Enoh Enigma. Stay tuned. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817-001-8162. That is 0817-001-8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your
The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich, and London. The coverage is global, and the cast nationwide, covering every blade of grass on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 with Femi and the gang on Nigeria Info. Live football, just the way you like it. The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich, and London. The coverage is global, and the cast nationwide, covering every blade of grass on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 with Femi and the gang on Nigeria Info. Live football, just the way you like it. The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich, and London. The coverage is global and the cast nationwide, covering every blade of grass on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 with Femi and the gang on Nigeria Info. Live football, just the way you like it. The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich, and London. The coverage is global and the cast nationwide, covering every blade of grass on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 with Femi and the gang on Nigeria Info. Live football, just the way you like it. The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich, and London. The coverage is global and the cast nationwide, covering every blade of grass on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 with Femi and the gang on Nigeria Info. Live football, just the way you like it.
Should IPOB meet the federal government at a round table? Should they have dialogue? Yes or no? This is what the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, said on Monday.
We have to talk, we have to discuss. Part of the discussion starts also tomorrow. The Minister of Defense and Minister of Interior and the service chiefs were in Enugu last Saturday, and we are going to do follow-up meetings on that. We briefed him, and he has stated that dialogue is the way to go in all this.
Well, some people think it's a little too late. I'm not sure about that. But IPOB has said that the Southeast governors are too small to decide for Ndigbo on Biafra agitation. They said that they are quick to disown and betray their own in quest to appease their slave masters. They also said that they're desperate for power beyond 2023, that they cannot sacrifice anything, and they're willing to sacrifice anything and anybody for personal gains. All right, so that's the position of IPOB. And Achike Chude is my guest this morning. I was reading that message from God's Power Igwe, who said the problem of our brethren from IPOB stock is their inability to listen to every wise counsel, not even from leaders of thought. Imagine IPOB in dissonance with all Southeast governors and critical stakeholders. So how will these young and disempowered ones, some to the uneducated, achieve Biafra without the backing of the elite class of the Southeast? Also, he says he would like Achike Chude to encourage IPOB to go into dialogue, then aggravate their intentions by sounding highly critical over the challenges facing us as a country. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0009. A question here: knowing that IPOB is a prescribed organization, is it proper for the governor to speak for them? Well, the federal government is saying we want to talk to the agitators. So someone has to speak for them. Their voice must be heard. JJ says, I don't know what your guest meant by marginalization of Southeast. Under Jonathan, they were finance minister. Chief of Army Staff, IGP, SGF, Power Minister, Petroleum Minister, Aviation Minister, and they held almost all the juicy positions. Yeah, that's what they call it. Those positions never affected the original people in the region, but they were okay. PNB has provided more infrastructure in the southeast than all the other presidents in Nigeria since 1999, according to Umahi. So what do they call marginalization? I think greed is driving this agitation. If there are people who are marginalized, it is the minorities in the South. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0009 are the numbers to call. I've got AB calling from Chuba. Good morning, AB.
Yeah, good morning, Enoh. My own contribution to this session is very simple. And also, I support the position of IPOB leaders on the issue of who to represent them in the discussion. And me and you will agree with the position of the federal government.
We agree.
In the past, where they are not sincere in any dialogue, they have treated with the people.
But we're here now.
Sorry?
We're here now.
We are human, right?
We are here now. Now we're here.
Can we express that optimism of being conscious when you are dealing with people's ideology? Try to be honest. For one, when you ask if the IPOB will not allow their leaders, governors and whoever to represent them, who are the ones that are going to represent them? I believe that IPOB has the capable men. Forget this the governors are doing. They are in support of what is going on.
Oh, well.
But as far as you are a governor elected under democratic government, to run an oath, you must play to the game.
Well, we've seen many governors who have, stood out, so I don't totally agree with that. But let's have Damien. Damien is in an Good morning, Damien.
Yeah, good morning, my sister. You see the matter on ground. It is good it's a welcome development for Nigerian government to dialogue with IPOB. But there is no way Eastern governors or Analyst can represent IPOB. This is the people that came out last week to say they disassociated themselves from IPOB. So you have never seen what I'm doing. How are you going to come and stand for me?
So hold on, sir.
I want to don't issue a statement that except the Nigerian the Southeast leaders disassociate the act of IPOB or so, and people were acting on what? The next week, the Eastern governors had a meeting and said they disassociate themselves from IPOB. And now they want to dialogue.
Okay.
And the same people that say they don't have anything to do with IPOB is going to dialogue on behalf of the IPOB. How would that work?
All right, so Damien, you missed the point. They're saying that the secession, they're not in consonance with IPOB on the secession. That's the thing. Do you understand? Ima is in Rumokuta. Ima, good morning.
Good morning, sister. Enoh. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very fine. I will start by saying that I thank God for the federal government coming to this table of dialogue, which we have been asking for years. Specifically, if you start from the southeast, yes, I've also said that I was not happy because of the military men that were killed in the southeast as the crisis started. Thank God that through this dialogue, everything will be over and peace will reign.
Do you see the dialogue happening with this position of IPOB saying that they cannot be represented or they will not be represented by the southeast elites?
That is the area I want to go to now. The IPOB people will accept. But the federal government, it has humble and submissive mind now for dialogue. They should go directly, or they should invite directly the IPOB leaders Like through this Nigerian, I've been hearing of the Napa one for another.
If you're an IPOB leader, hold on. If you're an IPOB leader, would you go for such a meeting? Because hold on. Because
will they hold me and kill me?
No, not kill. Why are you thinking kill? Maybe arrest, not kill.
The government will not do that because they still want to go for dialogue. If I were to be, which I cannot be because I don't want trouble, I will go. Right. But it should not be through the governors and the organization.
You want them to speak for themselves.
More than 70 million Igbos all over the world.
So
call directly to the leaders.
Okay.
They will come.
All right.
It should not be through the governors. The governors will do that. That is to enrich themselves for their own selfish interest.
All right, Chris is in artillery. Good morning, Chris.
No, good morning.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, let me say something. You see, everybody knows about this IPOB issue and how they started. They say justice prevents every other violence. But it's coming too late for federal government. I don't know why federal government will always allow something to spoil before they intervene. Remember what happened at Enoh High School about Amnesty International report, 150 IPOB members that we are praying. They went there and disseminated them. And they did say dialogue. IPOB matter is not something they will do hidden. See, this young man, they come and they say that he gives it. This man is intellectual. You know what he's doing? He will bring Nigerian government to international community. They must come to international community to dialogue in it.
Another Booyah call, right? Thank you, Chris, for calling. Oh, my. We'll take a call, then get back. Okay, we need to get Achike back on the line so that he can answer some of the questions. On WhatsApp, by the way, 08090306 Good morning. No, remember the IPOB has been prescribed and thus they don't have any legitimate recognition in the dialogue equation. The best IPOB can do, if indeed it is truly pursuing a positive agenda devoid of selfish egocentricity of its leaders, is to work with the recognized leaders. Otherwise, they'll soon fossilize into receding regression. President Buhari was right after all. IPOB is a dot in the circle. They do not speak for the Igbos. Group of illiterates and unskilled people cannot speak for the Igbos. Even the unknown government have failed together with the Juju. FG should go ahead and talk with major stakeholders in the East. John. Oyebuchi is calling from artillery. After that, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Enoh.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Anybody that believes that the Southeast leaders are constituted presently can speak for IPOB, the person is just daydreaming. In fact, do you know that Southeast leaders are one of the people that IPOB is waging war against? IPOB is fighting against the institution that has made life unbearable for the common man.
But the people haven't recalled any of their leaders. They haven't. I mean, they haven't said.
Are you not in Nigeria enough?
I am here.
Don't you know how election is done in Nigeria?
No. Recalling.
No. Let's face facts.
No, hold on now. Hold on.
Okay.
Dino Melai was recalled, right? But the process at some point, yeah. But
and he failed.
No, hold on. They even started the process. So it's a question of numbers. Hold on, sir.
Remember,
it is a question of numbers.
The system. No. There is a system in Nigeria that frustrates the popular.
But let us even see that we are through, because who went to vote? I didn't leave River State to vote in the East. Do you understand?
Who conducted the record
It doesn't
process?
change anything. If there was an election,
who conducted the record process?
Oyebuchi, if there was an election and people voted, it means that people from the Southeast voted in their leaders, right?
We did not vote any leader.
Oh, really? So where did the numbers come from?
Yes. Are you not in that? Don't you vote? You don't see elections in Nigeria.
Ken is in Woji. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you.
My take is that I actually appreciate the federal government's move to have a negotiation. But I think there are processes that would have taken place before calling for this talk right now. For instance, the group was proscribed as a terrorist group.
Yes.
So I think that the first move would be to unproscribe. And then this will give a kind of confidence even to the people that may that will be representing the group to dialogue with the federal government. I also think the government should make plans to have mediators outside the two parties.
The two parties being
discussions and all that, because peace must reign.
The two parties,
that's
who the two parties now being
federal government and IPOB leaders.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Ken, for calling. Hector is saying that in our country, those who cried out for marginalization are themselves marginalizing others. There is marginalization everywhere. However, let there be dialogue. Let us not fear to negotiate, and let's not negotiate in fear. Soki says they're bent on leaving Nigeria. It's really tough, the tough deal. You need to see how deep some IPOB sympathizers and loyalists have gone to realizing their republic. Their rhetorics and verbal war carries lots of hate and threats. My opinion is that they should concentrate on their agitations in their territory. That's not what we're talking about. The question is, if Buhari invites Nnamdi Kanu to Aso Rock for talks, will he come? Darlington Mecca in Okpolo Iriebe is saying that the presidency or the president have not come out to confirm that Buhari is ready to dialogue with IPOB. As long as he's concerned, he said there won't be any meaningful fruits in the discussion until the president or the usual presidency confirms the news. Ngige is the minister and not the presidential spokesman. Well, Ngige met with the president and he came out to have this conversation. So that's what we have. On the dialogue issue, is IPOB or Eastern affair or a Southern Niger affair? And are all the true people of the South duly represented? Indigbo cannot claim to represent the South. The Purple Senator, you're missing the point. Nobody has mentioned the South. It's the Southeast. And what Chris Ngige said was that the federal government, he said President Buhari has agreed to, dialogue with agitators. So anyone, it's really the Southeast, so that they can sort out the security situation, because we've seen from the agitations, we've seen people killed, on both sides. So that really is what is critical here. Is it anyone who does not know Buhari that will go for this invitation? They will arrest them. If Buhari is serious, let him unprescribe them. Okay? I will speak on two matters. There seems to be a high level of certainty on the fact that there were extrajudicial killings by security agencies, but uncertainty on who killed the security agents and burnt government infrastructure, even though a certain group and its leader have constantly threatened violence. I think we need to be clear. The dialogue is not about IPOB, but about the Southeast. Let us stop making this seem like the entire Southeast are members of IPOB. CJ, nobody has said the entire Southeast are members of IPOB. Also, many times the government came out to say clearly that it was IPOB that killed, killed security agents and carried out attacks. They were very clear about that. So that's already clear. The dialogue is about agitators, and the key agitator from the Southeast is IPOB. They want secession, and that's what the state governors have said. The Southeast governors have said, we're against injustice, and all that, stands as a form of injustice, but we are not with you on secession. So that's really that really is the key word there, secession. These same people openly denied IPOB support publicly. So how, where, and what makes them think they'll be given listening ears? Miller Samuel is asking for Memohua. Okay, let's go to Facebook at Nigeria Info PH. We need referendum. Is FG pretending to be rational now? Jedi Kinachuku. Strange Face says, this is not their first time of dialogue. Let them keep it up. We move. Eferebo Ibietala said, better late than never. Both FG and IPOB should share the blame for all the carnage visited on humanity so far. If FG has called for this dialogue, had called for it early enough, and if IPOB knocked off. Okay. Ataganam Imowo Umo, if there's transparency in the process, dialogue should be held in Russia. Another Buria code. We're Nigerian folk.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm calling from Garrison, from Port Harcourt, Garrison.
Okay.
Discussing the IPOB invitation for dialogue.
Hello?
Yeah, we're listening to you.
Okay. My opinion that Nigeria should, there should be a mediator to this issue. Nigeria is not supposed to be a judge in your own case. Let the mediator handle the case. Invite IPOB, invite Nigeria, as they are ready to dialogue. Nigeria shouldn't be the judge in their own case. That's my opinion.
All right. Thank you for calling. I thought, the first thing was to open that room for dialogue, and then during the dialogue we would say, well, we're here now. We're here to talk, but we will not continue. We want this, maybe we want, independent mediators, those who are not stakeholders in any way. Perhaps that would, take it to another level. But then again, final call. Lost that one. So back to Facebook at Nigeria Info PH. Henry Onohamba says IPOB said Southeast governors should not speak for them, for Ndigbo rather. They too should not speak for Ndigbo. IPOB members should not see this dialogue as a sign of weakness or surrendering by the federal government, but an opportunity to officially present their demands through their leader. I wish FG should declare this referendum and IPOB should be disappointed at the outcome. For now, let all Ndigbo wake up and address this IPOB issue because their negative activities is destroying the land. Ibiba Briggs says, I don't think dialogue would be possible. Remembering the Yoruba passed on dialogue now. So I think the time is past because this government failed to put referendum in the constitution. That's what IPOB wants. The time for dialogue is past. So where does that take us? Julia Sumba, the federal government wants to negotiate with a terrorist group on prescribe them first. Final messages on WhatsApp, and then we move. Nigeria can only open dialogue with the groups that have been agitating. In this case, it is IPOB, but the dialogue with IPOB choice reps will be meaningless. Better still, let the FG call for sovereign national conference. Define Chris, we've had national conferences for Christ's sake. Another one at what cost, really? I think the president is giving these guys the prestige they don't deserve. I'm a Nigerian from Igbo, and I don't know what is IPOB. When they call the dot, they cry. Okay, when they call them the dot, they cry. Threatening to teach them the language they understand, they cry. Now, come, let's talk. And they're running away. Their leader is nowhere to be found. I said these guys are confused. Obina sent that in. Okay, Austin says, the more we open this kind of discussion, the more we put the region into tighter positions. IPOB doesn't respect anyone. They believe only in their leader, that he has monopoly of knowledge. IPOB's so-called ideology cannot take us anywhere. Those who saw the war cannot call for secession. When will the Igbo close ranks? Wari Laifa is asking. Now there are two distinct leadership structures in the southeast. There's a political, represented by the governors, and the agitation, represented by IPOB. Can the Igbos learn from the Yoruba how to fight injustice, as exemplified by June 12? Thank you, Wari Laifa. And that's a wrap on the conversation this morning. We'll see how it goes, because Ngige, who spoke with the president on Sunday, came out of that meeting and said, well, we'll start the talks this week. We'll bring you up to speed as and if they happen. My name is Enoh Enigma. Good morning.